welcome back to Eternally Apollo Justice. Who is this fourth person? Who is the true culprit? Who does the killing? Why do I always get put up on the spot like this?
Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue?
Alright, who is the killer?
What the fuck?
Yep.
Who thought they were blue? Thought they were blue. So they wouldn't have been playing the game.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So we know that. We know that it's not Orly.
Yeah, okay.
It's not the guy. It's not the victim. I guess it could be if he was like colorblind or some shit. Basically, one of these guys.
He killed himself?
No. Who's the killer? So it's not. Phoenix isn't the killer. What the fuck? It's Gavin or fucking Margaret?
If that's who you narrowed it down to, it's either Gavin or Margaret. Yeah.
No, that's not Margaret.
Yeah,
Winston's Margaret.
Yeah, I know, but
Can't be. How is Gavin related to this shit?
yeah. I mean, how is Gavin related?
He has no relation to this.
How is Payne related to this?
He's just a part of the case.
Yeah, okay. I suppose you have a 50-50 then. So, like, just choose somebody.
So it's Winston or wait. It's Winston or it's Gavin?
Yeah, I guess so. According to your deduction.
Gavin. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair.
I was right.
Christoph Gavin. You were the fourth person that night. What the fuck?
But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards.
How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the floor or the table.
But look, you can see the colors in this photo.
Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light.
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, the backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome.
Well, Christoph?
Stu... Gavin?
Mr. Gavin? Is something the matter?
Hmm? Oh, nothing. Hey, excuse me. It was just, sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you?
Oh, Christoph. You know even I'd never take a joke this far.
This has got beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb! This is insanity! The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
I assure you I'm quite sane.
What possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim had never even met!
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night, before the game started. What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley...
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Yeah.
This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It too, Justice. You would betray me, your teacher. Sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shoddy Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently.
Hey, and he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into a little murder trial.
The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now.
I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice. Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in the photograph. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin?
Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual.
Usual?
I always eat at the table closest to the Pinot. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So, the plates and such on the table were from your dinner?
Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours.
2 hours? Jesus Christ.
Then Christoph left. After that,
I was drinking water with chopsticks. J.D. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time.
that would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and J.D. Smith may have met?
I believe I did say that.
Here I was, all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall?
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened.
Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the witches. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Uncle Orley mentioned.
The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant the card in the Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search right. He would then pull out the plaited card and the trap would snap shut.
You swap the cards.
You swap the cards.
That's my line.
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card.
A card she planted.
Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. Threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon?
Yes. I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in the investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
Mr. Wright! The pokerhead of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits.
Let's take a look at the bottle. And, yeah, once again, there is nothing inside.
Please revise your testimony with this new information.
I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle.
Why in the bottle?
I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming.
So you struck first. I like that.
Why are you looking at me? Oh, I see.
I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me.
At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. The girl was like a cold and she was uncontrollable, so I left to call the police. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct?
Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout.
Was anyone else on the first floor at the time?
Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone.
When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And when he returned, the victim was over.
Dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in.
A little?
He was bleeding from his forehead after all.
I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to the defense attorney, Gavin. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees.
Oh, glad to hear you still intend to pay.
Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved, after all.
You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. Alright, what am I doing?
That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph.
Yeah.
Shoddy Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. So he left the bottle which had the card in it.
Yeah.
He came back. There's another bottle there essentially that did not have a card in it. Because the bottle that we have doesn't have the card in there.
Okay, so that means he's wrong, right?
Yeah.
He didn't say anything about a second bottle.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may,
Yes.
I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here.
No?
What? Mr. Wright? Surely isn't all you have to say for yourself?
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however.
Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear?
In any case, please continue the correct examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the vein. Go for the KO. Why do we get the feeling that we're not on our client's side anymore? Alright, there's another contradiction in this testimony.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Don't worry about that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't remember there being a cut. It's just blunt trauma. No blood.
So...
Right? Obviously you don't see any blood there. And then the other picture doesn't appear to be blood. Unless, oh wait, is that blood streaming off the back of his head?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, he looked in here and saw this.
Yeah, he looked near, the hat's still on. Yeah.
Objection!
It doesn't appear dead.
Mr. Wright, if I may, I'm so used to looking over here once I do that, because you play fucking the main character.
Yes.
Take a look at this photograph at the time of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead.
Good point.
Justice, next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head.
Huh? You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head?
You wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And
I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
Why did you do such a thing? Let's do a thing like that!
All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene.
So Miss Willie didn't see it. It being the victim's, his head.
I'd think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head.
Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Low blow. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew.
I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intended to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never.
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here.
Huh?
When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
Reason?
That reason is right here.
Your cell phone?
That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation.
What's this?
Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
What's this? Game not going well?
Something like that.
That gentleman who challenged you, turned out to be good?
He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? Pate? Pate?
Pate?
Pate. It wasn't you, was it?
Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should have come to that.
Bone china plate?
A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, and not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead.
The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead.
Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Bush Bowl Club.
Most certainly.
Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate?
Oh, that's right.
Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix, right?
Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Margaret now.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony?
Huh? Well, as the prosecutor,
Very well! We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination! Are we all clear on that? Yes, okay.
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess of the day.
Still 420. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Would have thought today would turn out like this. You play this kid. Well, you're gonna do a voice, and then you're gonna actually see what she looks like, and then you're gonna change it immediately.
May I?
Alright, change it now.
Okay.
What?
Hello, sir. Please, pick a card.
What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from?
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Right 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. That was cheating. I swear to you.
The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
This bloodstained card. My trump card for finding the truth? And we find. Oh nope! I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what all this meant. That girl. I've seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection.
I pulled my head up my ass and realized you said my father.
Ah.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice, bro.
Yes, bruv. And we're gonna find out the truth.
7, or this is a long lost daughter. Mia had a secret kid before she died.
I'll tell you, I believe she's 15 in this game.
What the fuck?
She's 15, yeah.
Wait, what was the name of that girl that was with Phoenix in the last
Iris?
case? Iris.
No.
Okay. Huh, interesting.
Alright, so what are your thoughts so far?
I'm liking it, man. I like the way it's looking, you know, because it's, you know, remade or whatever.
Yeah.
I like the art style, the way they're done. You know, it's, you know, they're like overhauling it, but it's nice.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. I don't know because this is new. This is because this came out.
Yeah, no, I'm
like 3 years ago.
enjoying, dude. I'm enjoying. You know, first time we went through Ace Attorney, I was ungodly exhausted every time we recorded. And I'm not ungodly exhausted anymore, and my lifestyle. So this is so much nicer for me.
Okay,
so,
nice.
So yeah, this is great.
So we're gonna find out if Gavin is the killer.
Yeah.
And
Gavin's always a bad guy.
Yep. So thank you for watching this episode of Ace Attorney. My apologies. Make sure to like, subscribe, and upload it on 5 thing.
Every single day.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.